Justice is essential to refugees' psychological and social adaptation, even though it is often overlooked. Justice means being treated with equality, fairness, and respect regardless of any differences between people or groups. This video is based on the findings from a community-based participatory project where Syrian civil war survivors reflected on their personal experiences of justice in Syria, transition countries, and after their resettlement in Canada. Mariam is a composite character based on the findings of this project. Her story illustrates Syrians' encounters with justice and injustice across their migration journeys and the solutions they found to enhance equality and respect for themselves and others. As a Kurdish Syrian woman, Mariam was living in a Kurdish region of Syria when its civil war broke out. Amongst the difficulties she faced due to the conflict was increasing experiences of injustice. Some unfair treatment was systemic, deriving from Syria's government. Corruption within the government and crimes against citizens were both common. Witnessing these events, Mariam felt unsafe expressing her opinions about Syria's government for fear that she would be persecuted too. Many Syrians were treated unfairly through the legal and justice systems. For example, Mariam's neighbors were arrested and imprisoned without a sentence or trial. Mariam noticed that not everyone experienced the same injustices. However, those that knew someone powerful or had money or power themselves seemed to be treated with more fairness and respect. The war also increased tensions between ethnic groups, and as a member of an ethnic minority, Mariam faced discrimination for her Kurdish identity. As these experiences became more frequent, Mariam fled to a neighboring country. However, she faced injustice here as well. Mariam found that as a Kurdish individual and Syrian refugee, she was not granted equality under the law compared to citizens and did not share their rights. As a result, she struggled to feel financially secure and feared deportation back to Syria. Mariam felt constantly vulnerable in this country. There seemed to be no justice at all. Mariam's sister, however, fled to the Kurdish region outside of Syria's borders. Here, her sister found that she had very different experiences than Mariam and was treated with equality and respect. 2 years later, Mariam was resettled in Canada. Very quickly, she noticed that there was greater equality and fairness for everyone, despite their background or ethnicity. Mariam found that Canadian laws were applied equally to her and the same way to others. She felt that these laws were fair to everyone and noticed that usually people in Canada followed these laws well. Mariam also learned from her friends that compared to transit countries, Syrian Kurdish children were treated fairly and with respect in the Canadian education system. However, injustices still occurred. Mariam experienced both individual level and systematic discrimination in Canada. When her car was robbed, she also learned that the justice system could be slow and at times unfair. Mariam reflected that her experiences of injustice in Syria, transit countries, and Canada had personal consequences. Emotionally, she felt angry and helpless and worried about ongoing injustice affecting her future. She also found that where there had been injustice in relationships, communication and trust were now difficult to re-establish. In response, Mariam decided to find solutions that would enhance equality and respect around her. She decided to learn more about justice in Canada and seek help from organizations. She learned more about her rights and responsibilities, contacted advocacy groups, and shared her experiences with other Syrians and Kurdish Syrians. Mariam then began to teach her friends' children what she had learned so that they would also understand what justice means. Mariam found that the Canadian community was very helpful, and these positive experiences enhanced her sense of justice as well. In spite of the challenges to justice that she and others in the Syrian community had faced, Mariam felt hope that there were also solutions.